Welcome to Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, the podcast where fake love is exposed. I'm Nova Gibson and I am your host. I'm the principal counsellor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counselling.com.au. This space is dedicated to helping you reclaim your worth and understand the impact of toxic relationships with suspected narcissists. You deserve clarity, healing, and freedom from the pain of fake love and flying monkeys. So please leave a review and grab a copy of my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Let's uncover the truth and take back your power. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. We talk a lot about toxic love. Well, I certainly do in this podcast series because I'm talking about love, which is not really love at all. It's fake love, hence the title of this podcast and hence the title of my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. So in this episode, I want to make a comparison because often when you have been in a relationship with a narcissist, it's not your first rodeo. It's not the first traumatic, abusive relationship that you have been in, especially if you've been raised by a narcissist. So many victims really don't understand or don't know what healthy love looks like because their whole life, or for at least a number of relationships, they have been taught or they've been conditioned to believe that love and control are the same thing. And of course, that's not true. That's what your abuser wants you to believe so that they can manipulate you and dominate you even more. But to begin with, let's have a look at what love looks like or what love appears to be when you're in a relationship with a narcissist. When you first meet them, if it's a romantic partner or if it's a lifelong relationship with a narcissistic parent, a sibling, or other family member. Now, if you grew up with a narcissistic parent or parents, then you were indoctrinated into a system where loyalty to that system was everything, and anything that did not make them look like the family of the year or parents of the year was not to be spoken about, and you had to support the image that they were trying to reflect to the outside world. Image is everything to the narcissist, but you now know as an adult that it could not have been any more dysfunctional behind those closed doors. And what was actually going on in your family was so far removed from what outsiders thought it was. And why did you have to work so hard to protect that image? Well, because loyalty was top of the list when you were growing up. It always is in a narcissistic family, so that their image remains untarnished. And why do you stay loyal? To protect the image? That's because we love each other. We're a family and we have to protect each other. So what are you being taught as you grow up and your brain is still forming and absorbing everything that is being constantly role modeled to you? You are absorbing that love is the same thing as control. You're also being conditioned to believe that in not speaking about anything that goes on in your own home, that it's none of anyone's business. Therefore, you don't talk about any form of abuse. And you're really conditioned to believe to begin with that it's not abuse at all. Although that has to present massive confusion for a child, because if it's okay and nothing wrong is going on here, nothing to look at, then why are you not allowed to talk about it with anyone else? The narcissistic family is also conditioning you over a long period of time by continually pairing together the words, I love you, with their abusive actions. So a childlike brain is going to have to come up with ways of making that okay so they can survive the abuse. So they minimize it. They normalize the abuse. They rationalize it away. It's normal for them. And of course, everyone on the outside of your home only sees the amazing, loving facade they put forward. So this reinforces to you as a child that this is what love looks like because of the comments, the statements like, oh, you have an amazing family. Oh, I wish I had a mom or a dad like you. It reinforces to you that what you're experiencing is normal. And that's what, once again, love looks like. So what are you going to search for in a relationship when you're an adult? Well, most of us would probably steer towards something that was familiar. And that's exactly where adult children of narcissists, ACONs, find themselves, because these toxic relationships are familiar. Healthy relationships are just so foreign. They present as something that they need to fear. Those sorts of potentially healthy relationships give them anxiety, and they find themselves in a relationship that mirrors the toxic relationship with the narcissistic parent. And if it's a romantic partner, a husband or a wife that you are connected to, then you're most probably being love bombed at the start. And it's so intense. And that's just as destructive, because you are absorbing that that's the way they love you and it feels good. So when that behavior, which is unsustainable, and of course it's fake, when it comes to a screeching halt, then you're going to be chasing that feeling again, like a drug addict chasing that first euphoric high. And when it comes to a screeching halt, you're also going to be thinking to yourself, why don't they love me anymore? They've just stopped doing what they used to do. And I feel absolutely worthless now. Why don't they love me anymore? Well, the reality is, when you're being loved or love bombed by the narcissist, they never loved you. And what they gave you was an illusion of love that got you hooked, and they would present to you in the form of breadcrumbs later on to keep you hooked. As you have probably heard me say many times in previous episodes and videos, love is just a word. It is just a word unless it is backed up by action, and not just isolated little periods of action, but consistent patterns of behavior over space and time, which reflect compassion, empathy, kindness, genuineness, loyalty, trust, all of those things that we associate with love. But narcissists do not see love as a mutual exchange of all of these things, but rather they see it as a tool to fulfill their selfish desires and needs. And of course, it's not love. It's just a word they use because they know the importance that you place on it. So they love bomb you, they hook you in, they give you conditional affection. There's always strings attached to any love, in inverted commas, that they give you. And they control and manipulate you where they use love as a weapon. They will reward and punish you with their fake love. So let's look at the difference between love and control. And this can be very difficult to define when you're being coercively controlled by the narcissist, where they throw out that love bombing and they're so nice to you. And this controlling behavior, it really is underpinned by control, where, for instance, they want to be with you all the time. They want to help you shop for your clothes. They want to pick you up from work every single day. This is presented as love in the beginning, and it feels good to have someone want to be with you and to do those things for you. But it's when it becomes suffocating, and also when you go to deviate from the actions that they expect from you. For example, asking their opinion about what you want to wear for the day. It's only when you deviate and the punishment that ensues becomes obvious that you realize that this is starting to feel a little off. This feels controlling. So one of the big differences is that healthy love does not just come to a screeching halt for no apparent reason, or even if you do make a mistake, it doesn't just come to an absolute screeching halt, and it certainly doesn't result in a complete shapeshift where they've now gone from loving you so much to treating you like they hate you. And healthy love is built on mutual trust and respect. Narcissistic control is built on manipulation and power. Healthy love encourages individuality. They want you to be free. They want you to feel good about yourself. They want you to have a life outside of them. Whereas control, the controlling love by the narcissist, seeks to dominate you, and you're punished if you want to be an individual, or if you don't seek advice from them, or if you just want to have any type of passion outside of the relationship with them at all. Healthy love involves open, honest communication, whereas control is about deceit and gaslighting. In a healthy relationship, you don't walk on eggshells all the time. You don't have to sit down and rack your brains about how to approach a subject with them or have a discussion to make them accountable for something without sending them into this massive rage. And healthy love is unconditional. There are no strings attached. When they're nice to you, you feel secure. They want you to feel secure. If you're in a controlling relationship with a toxic narcissist, then of course you know now that love is conditional. It's fleeting. It's not love. They're only giving you breadcrumbs of the fake love so that you don't go anywhere and they retain that control over you. So when you have been in a relationship with a narcissist, it is so important to define what healthy love is, to understand it, because of the powerful trauma bond that you had with your abuser, where you were walking on eggshells and there was these massive highs and rock bottom lows, and then just perceived highs that you craved because it ended the abuse. And because those breadcrumbs they gave you, the perceived highs in the trauma bond, because they provided such relief that the abuse had ended, it felt like love. It felt so good. They're being nice to me. This is what love feels like. This is what love looks like, when really it's just that the abuse has ended and is probably just a day they're not abusing you. So to understand what healthy love is, here are some really important things to remember. Healthy love is about mutual respect. It's about emotional safety. You're not walking on eggshells all the time with the threat of abandonment, where they tell you they're going to leave you. It's not a relationship where you're being gaslighted and you're confused all the time. It's about open, honest communication, unconditional care and support, and individual personal growth. That's what someone who loves you wants for you. And love does not mean losing yourself in another person. There's a movie out there. What is it? That Tom Cruise movie. Guys, please put it in the comments. I can't think of it at the moment. But you'll probably remember that line, which felt so romantic when you heard it, which was, "You complete me." Well, now that I'm a bit older, I've got a few more years under my belt, a bit more professional expertise, I don't think that line is actually helpful, because what it implies, especially to someone who has been abused in the past, is that you're not whole on your own and that someone else can fix the broken you. And of course, you've been told by your previous abuser or abusers that you are broken and you need fixing. I think it's better to think of being in a relationship with someone who complements you, not completes you, because you are whole on your own. You want someone to complement all those beautiful qualities and traits that you have, all those little idiosyncrasies that make up the person that you are. So in ending, guys, I think the most important thing I need to get across to you is that when you have been abused in the past, healthy love is not always obvious, and you need lots of support to recognize what that is, and also to not fall back into the patterns of the past where you find yourself in familiar toxic relationships. When you've been conditioned to believe for so long that love and control are the same thing, that love and abuse go hand in hand, your brain just doesn't change overnight into not only just believing that healthy love is what I've just explained it is, but actually feeling it, because it doesn't feel comfortable to go into something that is completely foreign to you. You need lots of support to understand not only what healthy love is, but to know and believe that you deserve it. And that brings us to the end of yet another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. Guys, if you are experiencing your own relationship with a toxic narcissist, don't forget to reach out if you would like to have a one-on-one Zoom counseling session, telehealth online session with me. Just see my website link in the description. You will also find there a link to order your copy of my best-selling book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, available in paperback, Audible, and Kindle. Now, if you would like to support the channel, please leave a rating and a review, guys. It helps so much with the algorithm. And of course, share. Sharing is caring. And if you'd like to do something else, well, you can buy me a cup of coffee. There's a link below. Now, until tomorrow's episode, it's bye from me for now. Until then, remember, you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of so much more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.